Alright everyone, I'm here to give you my Breaking Bad review. And this is, I actually have to look it up because I originally had the episodes all set up. Hold on. I gotta find it. Okay. This is season 3, episode 7, and it's called 1 Minute. And it came out on May 2nd, 2010. So the episode starts off with the guy that's friends with Tuco's cousins. I don't think they said what his name is yet. And he gets a call from Gus. And he said that he's not going to be patient anymore. He doesn't want to wait to kill Walter White. And, yeah, that was kind of about it. And then he has, like, these two kids that were with him. We find out they were his nephews. And one of them broke his toy. Like, one of the nephews. And he said that he broke my toy, so he wishes he was said. And then he's like, get over it. And then he says, then the nephew says that he wishes he was dead. So then the uncle calls the nephew over and he's like, tells him to get him a beer. So then he's like, he had like a cooler that he had, and then he's about to drown this kid, but then he doesn't, and he says family is all. And then it shows Tuco's gang, and we technically don't know if they're his cousins or not. And they have like a shrine built for Hank, like they're gonna kill him, because it puts a picture of Hank on it. So I thought that was awesome stuff. And then it cuts to the theme song, and then when it comes back, Jesse goes to his house, and we see Hank arrive, and now Hank's obviously pissed at Jesse because of the whole thing that happened when Hank got set up to that his wife Marie was in a car accident. So then what happens is he beats the crap out of Jesse, and he wants Jesse to tell him who he's working for, but he gets knocked out, so he can't say. So then he gets taken, and then one of the guy that owns, the guy that's in charge of the DEA, I forget his name, but I think this is the guy, I think he's in Saw too. I don't remember his name though. And he tells Hank they're going to talk about this in the morning. And then we see Saul, and Saul takes a picture of it and says that this is Jesse's get out of jail free code. Because of this, the DEA is going to fear him because of what happened. So then Walter comes in, apologizes, says he didn't mean for this to happen, but the key thing is it worked. You could be in prison right now. And then Jesse says that he's going to be out off it, and Walter says what happens now, and Jesse says that he's going to pretty much own Hank. He's going to take all his money, and Hank's going to be struggling, and every cent that him and his wife get, he is going to take. And then he says that it's going to get to the point where Hank is going to commit suicide. He's going to put a gun and pull the trigger because he wants to end the thought of him. So I thought that was awesome. He pretty much references he's going to sue him. And Jesse says he's going to get back cooking again. And Walter's like, you can't do that because you're going to get caught. Because you've already been caught once, they're going to be suspicious of you. But then Jesse says no, because he's going to use Walter as a get out of jail free card. Because he's going to give away the identity of Eisenberg. He's going to tell him that he knows who he is. So no matter how long they put him in prison for, if they give away Eisenberg, they'll make a deal. Which is a good way. So Saul's obviously concerned about this, but Walter doesn't think he's going to give him up. Because Jesse had the opportunity when Hank was beating the crap out of him, and he didn't. So, yeah. Then, what happens next? Then we see Hank's just telling, pretty much, it's asked what happened by like all the lawyers and stuff, and they have to take, how his wife, pretty much what happened in the last episode, and then they take pictures of his hands, and his hands all cut up from when he beat the crap out of Jesse, and then Hank leaves, and you see his wife Marie, and they're crying, and Hank says he doesn't want anybody to know about this. He doesn't want to talk to anybody about this, which I guess Skylar was out of the question, because then Skylar comes over to Walter, and asks Walter to have him drop the charges. But then Walter says that him and Jesse aren't friends; they're just partners. They don't like each other really. And Skylar says, "Well, Hank's your family," and Walter says, "Not right, not currently." So yeah, and then Walter arrives at work, like to the meth lab, with Gail, and Gail's talking about how we can have a friendship here, and Walter doesn't really seem sold on it. Gail's doing all the right things, pretty much. You know, he's doing all, like, pretty much everything you're supposed to do. I can't really explain it. And then what happens next? If I remember. Oh, those two guys, Tuco's whatevers, the guys that are aligned with Tuco, are buying, like, bullets, like guns. And they get these vests, and if you shoot them, they, like, normally you just die if a bullet got shot right through you, but that wouldn't happen here. You wouldn't die at all. And then they take them, and just to make sure it works, they shoot the guy. And the guy was really annoying that they were buying off of. He talked really fast. I'm glad he got something. He shot him, and then he pays him, and then they leave. But the only one that talked was the one on, like, the left, I think. And I think he's supposed to be, like, the one that's the leader. I'm not really sure, though. I really like these guys, too. And then Walter... Gale pretty much screwed up. He put something in there that was supposed to be 85 degrees, but he put it in at 75 degrees. So Walter gets pissed at him and says, "We can't use this. It's no good." So then later on, then Hank, we see that Marie wants him to lie, pretty much. Wants him to say that your instincts kicked in, that he was coming at you with a weapon, he was resisting arrest, so your training kicked in. But Hank says that he has to do the right thing because he hasn't been doing the right thing lately ever since he's gotten into that shootout with Tuco, and then what happened in Texas. He says that he wants to do the right thing, and the universe is just pretty much giving him a message. So he has to do this. So I really like this. It was a good speech by Hank. Then Walter calls Gus, and he says that the thing between him and Gale isn't working out. He says that he's nice, but they don't have chemistry, and he wants to work with Jesse because they have the chemistry. They have that bond, and it just feels like that he's like the only one he can really work with because they're partners. And first, I think you don't really hear what Gus is saying, but first Gus is probably thinking no, but Walter says, "Hey, you said it was my lab. I can do whatever I wanted with it, so that's what I want." So then eventually he gives in, and Walter comes to tell Jesse about it. And Jesse doesn't want to go for it because ever since he's teamed up with Walter, he's lost everything. And he doesn't care about him. And he even said that his meth was crap. And Walter then says, "Your meth is good, Jesse. Just as good as mine." I knew he was going to say that eventually because Walter seemed like he was jealous of it before. And it was just as good. I like this, but Jesse still refuses. And Jesse going off on Walter was awesome. And then Jesse calls him later on in the day and accepts. So I thought that was cool. And then Hank is writing out the claim, and he gets suspended indefinitely, so he has to hand over his gun and his badge. And then he goes to leave, but the guy that suspended him comes up and says, "Hey, Jesse, drop the charges." And Hank's all surprised. So then Hank is going to leave. He buys some flowers and a gift for Marie, and then when he gets in the car, and then he gets another phone call because he's on the phone with Marie telling her everything that happened. And someone in like a distorted voice calls and says, "The two men are coming to kill you, and you have 1 minute to escape." And Hank just is like, "Who is this?" So then he calls Gomez about it, and he doesn't answer. He doesn't answer. He leaves a voicemail. So then it's like 7:07, and Hank's looking for these guys, and then it turns to 7:08, and we see these two guys come up, but it's not them. And then one of the guys tries to attack Hank. He shoots the back windshield, and then Hank drives the car into drives kind of runs this guy over, and he drives into another car and he dies. Then the other guy tries to shoot Hank, but Hank escapes. And he takes the guy's gun. And then the other guy's dying, and he says, "Finish him." So he goes. The other guy goes to look for him. He kills one guy, which was awesome. It was pretty badass of him. And then Hank tries to ambush him. He tries to shoot him, but he's wearing that vest so it doesn't affect him. So then Hank kind of gets shot. And he has a perfect opportunity to just shoot Hank in the head, but then he says, "Too easy." So he grabs an axe, and this guy had dropped his bullet and was going to reload his gun, and showed it in slow motion. So then Hank did the same thing. He loaded the gun, and right when the guy was about to hit him with the axe, Hank kills him, and he dies. And then the axe just misses Hank before it kills him. And then that's how the episode ended. Overall, I thought this was a great episode. I like the stuff with the lawsuit. Walter and Jesse, I like that stuff. Jesse had a pretty big role in this episode. I actually thought they were going to kill Hank off in this episode, just due to the fact that, he was all bloody. And the guy was just about to kill him, but no, they didn't kill him off. It makes sense though, because Hank is kind of the one that's closest to the Walter case, and I think Hank eventually is going to figure it out. I'm not really sure what's going to happen with that yet. But other than that, that's pretty much it, guys. If you want to, this was a great episode this week. Well, that I just watched, because technically this series is already over. And that's pretty much it, guys. You can click right here to subscribe, and I'll be back to give you some videos throughout the week.